How are you? I hope so. You all are going great and it's all fine. So today I'm again with maths and another beautiful lecture and another happy learning. So we'll start about day by starting to work for knowledge. You have to recite it with me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Ay mere Rabb, mere ilm mein izaba farma. So today we're going to do comparison of like and unlike fractions. So basically our topic is comparison of like and unlike fractions. We have to differentiate between like and unlike fractions. So let me tell you an important fact about them. So proper fraction is always less than 1 and improper fraction is always greater than 1. Okay? So like fractions, what are like fractions? Like fractions are the fractions that have the same denominators. Like for example, if I'm having a figure, a square that's having 4 equal parts, you have them shaded. That basically means you have a 4 and a figure that's having 4 equal parts and 2 of them are shading. That means 2 over 4. That means now we have to look at the denominators. The denominators are same, so that means these fraction is the like fraction. But if I come to unlike fractions, what are unlike fractions? The fractions which are having different denominators that are called unlike fractions. A figure that's having 3 parts and 2 of them are shaded. That means 2 over 3 are figure that's having 4 equal parts and 1 part is shaded. That means 1 over 4. So here 3 and 4, they both are different, so that means this is a like fraction. So comparison of like fractions, how we can compare the like fractions. So to observe the denominators of the given fraction, if they are same, so the fraction are like fractions. So if the given denominators their denominators are same, so that means the fraction is like fraction. Then you have to check the numerator of the like fractions for their comparison. Okay, the greater the numerator, the greater the value. So here, because in like fraction the denominator is same, so we have to go through the numerator. So which when we have 2 figures, how many figures we have? Among all the figures, the greater the numerator, the value, the figure, the fraction that would have the greater numerator, that's going to be the greater value. Comparison of unlike fractions. So observe the denominators of the given fraction. If they are different, then they are unlike fractions. So if their denominators are different, that means they are unlike fraction. You have to make the fraction that's like fraction using the concept of equivalent fraction. I tell you, you have to make them equivalent by taking the LCM, joining them as like fraction. Okay, dividing or multiplying the numerator and denominator of a fraction by a same non-zero number gives the equivalent fraction of any for a given fraction. So that basically tells you the concept, because if you divide or if you multiply the numerator and denominator, so you can easily get the equivalent fraction of a non-zero number. Non-zero number basically means the number that's having no zero present in it. Compare the equivalent like fractions. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. When finally they are equivalent, when finally the denominators are same, when finally they become the like fraction, so the one who is going to have the greater numerator, the fraction is going to be greater. So you have to remember the comparison symbols also. This means greater than, this means less than, this means equal to. So comparing like fractions, so a figure that's a whole that's having 4 equal parts, here them are shaded, that means 3/4 or 3 over 4. And on the other hand, a figure that's having 4 equal parts and one of that is shaded, like that means 1/4 or 1 over 4. So you can now in these you can see these are like fractions. The denominators are same, so we have to check the numerators. The greater the numerator would be, whose numerator would be greater, that value would be greater. So here 3 is greater than 1, it means 3/4 is greater than 1/4. Then if we have to compare unlike fractions are having a whole that's having 2 equal parts and 1 that is shaded, it means 1/2 or 1 over 2. A figure that's having 4 equal parts and 3 of them are shaded, it means 3/4 or 3 over 4. Okay, so here the numerators are denominators are different, so that means these are unlike fractions, so we have to convert them to equivalent fraction. So 1 over 2, like here if you multiply this by 2, you're going to get this fraction, so you have to multiply these by 2, so you're going to get 2 over 4 and 3 over 4. So 2, if we then denominators are same, look at the numerators. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. So here 3 is greater than 2, that means 3 over 4 is greater than 1 over 2. Okay, so compare the unlike fractions. Like let's discuss the comparison of those unlike fractions first whose denominators are multiple of each other, like whose denominator come in the table of each other. Okay, multiple basically means table. Then like 1 over 12 and 2 over 3. So first of all we have to do marking. So 1 over 12 and 2 over 3. So first of all they are unlike fractions, so we have to make them equivalent fraction. Why? How? Because 12 and 3 they both are divided by 4, ठीक है. If you divide them by 4, you're going to get the same answer. So like if you count though, so 3, if you multiply 3 by 4, you're going to get 12. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply 2/3 this fraction by 4, ठीक है. So I'm going to get 1/12 and 8/12, ठीक है. So here denominator is the same. You have to check the numerators. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. So 8 is greater than 1, so that means 8/12 is greater value than 1/12. Then mixed number and proper fraction. Let me tell you one thing. So whenever you're having a mixed number and proper fraction, the mixed number is always going to be greater, because mixed number stands for improper fraction, and improper fraction is always greater than proper fraction. Like I'm having a figure that's having 1 whole 4/5, ठीक है, and 1/15. So first of all, what you have to do is we have to change the mixed number into improper fraction, and the fraction that's written in words into a fraction. So 1 whole 4/5, 1 multiplied by 5 equals to 5, and plus 4 equals to 9/5, and then these 1/15 basically means 1/15. So these are now 9/5 and 1/15. They both are basically they both are improper. They both are unlike fractions, so we have to convert them like by taking making them into equivalent fractions. So here I can see the 9. If you multiply 5, it's 5 multiplied by 3, that gives us 15. So basically you're going to do 9/5 would be multiplied by 3, I'm going to get 27/15, and I'm going to get 1/15. So here denominator is the same. We have to look at the numerators. So the ones who's going to have the greater numerator, the value would be greater. That means 27 is greater than 1. So 27/15 is greater than 1/15. That indicates that 1 whole 4/5 is greater than 1/15. So let's learn this whatever they have written over here. The second or the direct method that you can do is that you have to observe the given fraction. If any of them is an improper fraction or a mixed number, while the other is proper fraction, proper fraction is basically less than 1, then the improper fraction mixed number would be greater, ठीक है. So whenever you're having two hands, you're having improper fraction or mixed number, and at the side you're having a proper fraction, so there the mixed number or the improper fraction is going to be greater, because proper fraction is always less than that quantity. Okay, so then I'm having a pictorial representation over here, that a figure that's having a triangle, basically that's having 4 equal parts, since we have them are shaded. And then I'm having a figure that's having 4 equal parts and 4 of them are shading. So the first one indicates a proper fraction, and second one indicates a whole number, ठीक है, and improper fraction, whatever you want to say. So first one, if I have to write it into figures, I'm going to say 3/4, and the second one I'm going to say 1, ठीक है. 3/4, then this basically indicates 4/4, because if you 1/1 you multiply that 4/4, so you're going to get 4/4. So now the denominator is the same, so we have to look at the numerators. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. That means 4 is greater than 3, so 4/4 is greater value than 3/4. So let's discuss some more and different examples now. So we will discuss the comparison of whole of those unlike fractions whose numerators are not multiple of each other, and they have no common factor other than 1. Like there are no common factor other than 1. So first of all, let me discuss about co-prime numbers. What are co-prime numbers? Co-prime numbers are basically those numbers that have only one common factor, that is 1, ठीक है. So that means a pair of numbers that are said to be co-prime numbers if their HCF is when the highest common factor among them is 1, and their LCM is the product of both numbers. Whenever you're going to multiply both numbers, you're going to get their LCM, ठीक है. So let's discuss, take the factors of 15 and 8. So 15, the factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15, and 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. So in this, 1 is the only common factor you can find in 15 and 8. Other are different, so that means they are co-prime numbers, ठीक है. And if I have to take their LCM, so LCM of these co-prime numbers 8 and 15. So whenever you go to multiply 8 with 15, you're going to get 120. That means this is the LCM, and HCF is always 1, ठीक है. So let's learn this concept. We have to compare the following fractions. So now I'm having 1/8 and 2/5, ठीक है. So first of all, they are if you look at the denominators, they are unlike fractions, so we have to convert them to equivalent fraction. That means we have to take the LCM of 8 and 5, that is 40, ठीक है. Or what you can do is, as 8 and 5 are both are co-prime numbers ना, so we have to take the LCM of both of them, so we are going to also get 40, ठीक है. So both way you can do, you can take the LCM or you can do by multiplying, ठीक है. then if you know, get to know that LCM of 8 and 5 is 40. ठीक है, so what you have to do is 8 is 1 over 8 is going to be multiplied by 5. You're going to get 5 over 40, and then 8 16 over 40 is going to 2 over 5 is going to be multiplied by 8, and you're going to get 16 over 40. That means 5 over 14 and 16 over 40. So here denominator is the same. Now you have to look at the numerator. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. That means 16 is greater than 5, so 16 over 40 is greater than 5 over 40. That basically means 1 over 8 is smaller than 2 over 5, and 2 over 5 is greater than 1 over 8. Okay, let me tell you one more thing that we previously discussed. That improper fraction is always greater than proper fraction. Let's take example 7 over 2, that's an improper fraction, and 8 over 11, that's a proper fraction. So now we have to take the LCM. Okay, so first of all, for the working, we have to compare they all, and they both are unlike fractions because the denominators are different. So we have to convert them into equivalent fractions. So as you know that 2 and 11, they both are co-prime numbers, so the LCM is the product of both numbers. So have to take the both product. That means 22. 2 multiplied by 11 equals to 22. Okay, now we get to know that the LCM of 2 and 11, they both is 22. Okay, so 7 over 2, this fraction is going to be multiplied by 11, and 8 over 11 is going to be multiplied by 2. So in first fraction 7 over 2, you're going to get for 77 over 22, and in the hand you're having a fraction that is 8 over 11. You're going to get 16 over 22. Denominator the same. Look at the numerators. So greater the numerator, the greater the value. So 77 is greater than 16. That means 77 over 22 is greater than 16 over 22. That basically indicates 7 over 2 is greater than 8 over 11. That makes that the improper fraction is greater than proper fraction. Okay, then I'm having 2/3 and 4/6. So 2/3 basically means 2 over 3, and 4/6 basically means 4 over 6. So first of all, they are unlike fractions, so we have to convert them into equivalent fractions. So you have to take the LCM of 3 and 6, that is 6, and that means that they both are 6. So if you multiply 3 by 2, you're going to get 4 over 6, and 6 by 1, that means 6. So 4 over 4, 4 over 6, and 4 over 6. So basically in both fractions I got 4 over 6, 4 over 6. That means these fractions are equal. They represent differently, but they are equal in value. That means they're equivalent fraction. That means the value is equal. Then I'm having 5 6th and 9 tenths. So that 5 6 basically means 5 over 6, and 9 tenths basically means 9 over 10. So first of all, you have to they are improper, they are unlike fractions, so we have to make them equivalent fractions. So we have to take the LCM of 6 and 10, that is 30, and then 6 over 5, this fraction is going to be multiplied by 5 to take the to make our denominator 30, and 9 over 10, this fraction is going to be multiplied by 3 to make the denominator 30. So that means 5 over 6, that indicates 25 over 30, and 9 over 10, that makes the fraction 27 over 30. That means the denominators are same. You have to look at the numerator. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. That means 25 is greater than 27. 27 is greater than 25. That means 27 over 30 is greater than 25 over 30. That basically means 9 tenths is greater than 5 6. Activity time. So you have to use greater than, less than, or equal to symbol to compare the given fraction. So as you know, the proper fraction is less than improper fraction, and improper fraction is greater than proper fraction. So here 2 tenths and 5 tenths. 2 tenths is a proper fraction, and 5 thirds are basically improper fractions. So working, as you know, that 10 and 3 are co-prime numbers, so I have to take the LCM of both numbers. Take 10 multiplied by 3 equals to 30. So that means 2 over 10, this fraction is going to be multiplied by 3. I'm going to get 6 over 30, and then 5 over 3, this is going to be multiplied by 10. I'm going to get 5 over 50 over 30. Okay, so 6 over 30 and 50 over 30. Denominators the same. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. That means 50 is greater than 6. That means 50 over 30 is greater than 6 over 30. That means 5 thirds is greater than 2 tenths. That means improper fraction is greater than proper fraction. Then here I'm having mixed number improper fraction. As I tell you, the mixed number is greater than proper fraction. 1 whole 1 over 6 is greater. and is a mixed number, and proper fraction is 6/7. So for again, as you know, 6 and 7, they both are co-prime numbers, so you have to take the LCM of both numbers. That is 6 multiplied by 7 equals to 42. Okay, so first of all, 1/6 we have to take it in a fraction, so 1 multiplied by 6 equals to 6 plus 1 equals to 7. So 7/6 the fraction, and on other hand I'm having 6/7. So first of all, 7/6 is going to be multiplied by 7, that means 49/42, and then 6/7 that's going to be multiplied by 6, that you're going to get 36/42. Okay, so the denominators are same. Now then we have to look at the numerator. The greater the numerator, the greater the value. That means 49 is greater than 36. That means 49/42 is greater than 36/42. That means 1/6 is greater than 6/7. That indicates that mixed number is greater than proper fraction. Okay, then we're having 1/8 and 1/16. So first of all, let me tell you one thing. Unit fraction can be compared by looking at the denominators. Okay, the greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Okay, so that basically indicates you have to just, in what happens in unit fraction, as the numerators are same, so what happens that the greater the denominator, the smaller the value. Okay, so since the numerator never changes for unit fraction, so you have to look at the denominator to compare two fractions. The greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. It is because of the denominator is greater, the whole has been split up to more parts. Okay, so 1/8, so this fraction is going to be multiplied by 2, you're going to get 2/16. On the other hand, 1/16 is going to be multiplied by 1, you're going to get 1/16. Now as you know that 2 is greater than 1, that means 2/16 is greater fraction than 1/16. That means 1/8 is greater fraction than 1/16. Okay, then we are having 2 3/3 and 5/5. If you do the simplification, you're going to basically get to know that they're equivalent fraction, that means they are equal. Okay, then in that way, in other case, we're having 8/4 and 6/2. That indicates that 8/4 basically represents for 2 as the numerator, and 6/2 that represents that 3 is the numerator. That means 3 is greater than 2, that means 6/2 is greater than 8/4. Then we are having proper fraction, improper fraction. So basically proper fraction is 2/7, improper fraction is 4/3. That means improper fraction always win. That means 4/3 is greater than 2/7. Then we are having like fractions, so you have to compare the numerators. 2 6 or 1 6. Of course 2 6 is greater. Okay, then let's see some key points of today's lecture, that are proper fraction is always smaller than 1, improper fraction is always greater than 1, proper fraction is always smaller than improper fraction is always greater than proper fraction, mixed number is always greater than proper fraction. Unit fraction can be compared by looking at the denominators. The greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction would be. Like fractions, you have to compare their numerators. Unlike fraction, first of all you have to convert them into equivalent fraction to compare equivalent like fractions to compare them. So what are co-prime numbers? Co-prime numbers are those numbers who have the common factor that is 1, and that means a pair of numbers that are said to be co-prime numbers if their HCF is 1 and the LCM is the product of both numbers. Okay, so this was my today's lecture. I hope so you liked the lecture. So see you in the next lecture. Till then, take care of yourself. I hope you're enjoying maths a lot. Thank you. See you in the next maths lecture. Allah Hafiz.